Students, welcome back to American Government. Today, we are going to be talking about the rule of law, or the idea that everybody is accountable to the same degree to the law. And what we'll be looking at today is the assignment called Rule of Law. Here are the directions. Here are our plans for today. Highlighted text indicates that you need to write and submit information to this assignment. Ensure you've completed all requirements in this what to submit section near the bottom. Participation will be rewarded for participating in class discussion if we do this lesson as a class. So step one in our warm-up, I want you to think about this definition of rule of law and the picture as a class. So the definition of rule of law means it's the idea that all people are subject to and accountable to the law. In other words, nobody is above the law. So I commit a crime, I'm speeding in my car, and I'm going way over the speed limit. I should get the same fine, the same punishment from a police officer that a senator or a president would. Everybody is accountable to the law. Just based on this definition, do you think that's true? Do you think that's true? Think about your experience watching the news. Think about your experience in your daily lives. Think about human behavior in the most critical way. Is everybody held to the same standard? Are there some people who are more likely to be subject to the law than other people? What effect does bias play on the rule of law? I don't have answers to those questions. I want you to think about them because thinking about it is more important than the answers to the questions because there is no great answer. But think about human behavior as it applies to the rule of law or what we consider to be the rule of law. If you look in current events, we'll talk a lot about the rule of law as it applies to government today and if it still exists. If you're in a position of power, is it more or less likely that you're able to get off scot-free from something another person might get horribly punished for? I don't know. Maybe some people, this is going to be something that's called into question and needs to be called into question a lot because it's super important. This is like the integrity of what government claims to be. Let's look at this picture. So we have this hand and the name of the arm or the hand or the person under is rule of law and it's screaming out, crying for help. And it is drowned or drowning in money. So the author, P. Harris, whoever that is, do they think there are other factors to think about whenever we consider the rule of law? Think about what the author is trying to tell us here. What influence does money have on this idea that everybody is accountable to the law? If you have more money, do you have more legal resources? If you have more money, do you have more people willing to help you out in times whenever the law might come down on you in a way that's unfortunate for you? Think of all the ways money can be used in that circumstance. This author definitely has an opinion about whether those things apply. Step two, I want you to, with a partner, and you can do this as an activity alone or you create it with a partner. I want you to read through these examples of rule of law. Those can be found here in this PDF. Skip one, this deals with order and security. So the summary, two friends are attacked by a robber in the street after searching for half an hour. They finally find a police officer. The police officer doesn't know how to help them. Even when the officer catches the robber, there's no jail where the officer can keep the robber. And the officer does not have the skills to figure out what's going on. The officer suggests the injured friend seek justice through the legal counsel instead of in the court system. So the skit is between these two friends, the robber and the police officer. And I want you to read through several of these. They're not long at all, and some of them are actually kind of hilarious. So skim through these, read through these, and you're going to want to know how these work really well. And it's really good because they bring up legitimacy and really like the themes of them, checks and balances in each of them. And continue to think about that idea. Is everybody accountable to the law? And then you're going to make a skit. Again, this can be by yourself or with another person. Create a script similar to the scenarios in step 2. Your script must have at least 3 characters, have a summary about 1 paragraph long describing your scenario, just like in these examples. Have a skit scenario, which is about 30 lines long, and then demonstrate the rule of law in a clear way. And what you're submitting is your script from step 3. If you decide to somehow like record or act out your skit, I will definitely give you several bonus points. I think that would be amazing. And you'd probably be enshrined in this activity forever. I'd probably put your video in this activity forever for future students to use as well too. So keep that in mind in case you want some bonus points if you act this out and record it or anything, because I'm more than willing to give you that. And then what you're submitting is just your script from step 3. Otherwise, I want you to think about the rule of law every single day. Think about how human nature, human bias, human behavior affects what we consider to be an equal standard of how the law is applied. Please let me know if you have any questions or if there's any way I can help any of you out. Otherwise, have a wonderful day.